Hey, Pastor Steve here. Wednesday, April the 1st. Oh, man, if you're like me, you kind of wake up every day and you go, wow, this is really happening. This whole COVID-19 is changing our lives in all kinds of ways. And so it kind of forces us to be creative and think about things we maybe normally wouldn't think of and to do things a little differently than we would normally do them. What in the world? Is that a mask? Did you make it out of a tennis shoe? Man, I don't know how that happens exactly. Whew, good gracious, not for me. I'll tell you that right now. You know, in crisis, we think about things in ways we normally don't think about them. We process things in ways we normally wouldn't process them, and even how we look at the cross. Because when we think about Jesus and the cross, we don't think about joy, really, do we? But let me remind you what the Bible says about this. In Hebrews chapter 12, therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge crowd of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. The author of Hebrews is very clearly saying, man, sometimes when life gets hard and we need endurance, we got to change things up. We got to see things a little differently. Then he gives us, the key to it all. We do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith. So our faith begins with Jesus, it ends with Jesus. And when life gets hard and we feel like we can't go on, we can't keep doing this, when we need endurance, we get our eyes locked in on Jesus. Listen, we do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith, because of the joy awaiting him. He endured the cross, disregarding its shame, and he is now seated in the place of honor beside God's throne. For the joy, for the joy, huge word, that was set before Jesus, he endured the cross. Now we understand perfectly when we read the Bible how significant, how central the cross is to our faith. Without the cross, we can't have forgiveness of sin. Without the cross, we can't be at one with God. Without the cross, we can't have a relationship that allows us to go before the Father. The cross does all of those things in the life of a believer. And Jesus knew that. He knew that between him and the joy of loving us, giving us peace, making us at one with God, in order for all of that to happen, he had to endure the cross. But because of the joy that was on the other side of it, he did it. You see how big a deal the cross is for us? Even when Jesus said in Luke 9:23, anyone who wants to come after me, anybody who wants to follow me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me. You see, we can kind of think of that cross-bearing stuff, the taking up of our cross. It doesn't really seem like that's a joyful thing, right? But what was true for Jesus is true for us, because of the joy that's on the other side of it that God has for us. We endure things. We get through difficult things. And right now we look around our lives and we go, man, there's some hard things going on. You know, our President Trump, last night said that really we should expect at least 100,000 American deaths by the time this is over. Wow. Those are things that are hard to get your mind around. But with Jesus, man, there is joy on the other side. There is victory on the other side. And so because of the faith and the strength that Jesus gives us, we can endure these things for the joy that's waiting on us. And so that's why Paul said to the Corinthians, this present suffering can't be compared to the joy that is to be revealed later. So we keep our eyes on Jesus. Church, keep your eyes on Jesus. Because where Jesus is, there's joy, even in the midst of horrible things. So let me give you a little reminder too. This Sunday, in our online worship, we'll be live streaming at 11 o'clock on osbornbaptist.com and Facebook and also YouTube. We're going to be preaching about the cross and singing about the cross, and we're also going to participate in the Lord's Supper. And I'm going to ask you to do that in your home. So Sunday, before you get ready to worship with your family or whoever's in your home, or maybe you'll even be by yourself, go ahead and get a little juice and maybe a cracker or something that you can use to participate in the Lord's Supper. And I'll be giving you instruction on that in a little more detail tomorrow and then on Sunday. But there's never a time when we don't need to remember the cross. That's what the Lord's Supper is about, because on the other side of the cross, Jesus said,